Microcasting for your city. Talkapolis.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show. Also by Nashville Violins, the string player's #1 choice for their string instrument needs. Nashville Violins offers everything from lessons to repairs. Make sure you check them out at NashvilleViolin.com.
Hey buddies, and welcome back to Football Fantasy. I'm your host, Nanci Filippelli, here with my wingwoman, Sharra Rivera.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk Week 6, who to start, who to sit, the major players who are injured, our Talkapolis Titans League, and we have a special guest, Will Witherspoon, linebacker for the Titans, is stopping by the second half of the show. So excited. So let's jump right into things. Let's talk about who to start and who to bench. Quarterbacks start Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts, at the New York Jets. Luck has thrown for over 300 yards in 3 of his 4 games. With a matchup against the Jets defense on the decline, he has a sure start this week. Sit Matt Schaub, Houston Texans versus Green Bay Packers. The problem with Schaub is that he plays in a run-heavy defense with Arian Foster and Ben Tate. Green Bay's passing defense has allowed 10 touchdowns, so there could be some chances, but there is a lot of risk for limited opportunities. I say sit him if you don't have like another option or if you're having a bad bye week problem. Running backs, start Doug Martin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This matchup with the Chiefs should give him the opportunity as they are allowing 121 rushing yards per game. Start DeMarco Murray, Dallas Cowboys at the Baltimore Ravens. I think Dallas is going to come out strong after this bye week and what they went through the last game they played. The Baltimore defense is good, but they have actually struggled against the run thus far this season. While the 108 rushing yards allowed per game are sketchy, the 8 touchdowns allowed are even more so. This may be Murray's chance to break out. Sit Sean Green, New York Jets versus Indianapolis. I say sit everyone on the Jets team. If I was playing with my heart, I'm not a fan, to say the least. Everybody knows that. Averaging just 2.9 yards per carry, period. Sit Green Bay Packers running backs at Houston. Do we really need to explain this? If you've been watching football, you know what Houston is doing, right?
Right.
J.J. Watt will eat you for breakfast. But it will be fun to see J.J. Watt and Clay Matthews duke it out on defense. That's for sure. Wide receivers, 2 receiver formats. Start Miles Austin, Dallas Cowboys at Baltimore. A tough matchup could cause fantasy owners to shy away, but I am expecting the Cowboys to come out of the bye week strong, like I said before. The Ravens have allowed just 2 passing touchdowns at over 265 passing yards per game. He's scored touchdowns 3 out of 4 of his last games this season so far. I would look for Austin to continue producing. Sit Pierre Garçon, Washington Redskins versus Minnesota. It's a tough matchup as fantasy owners continue to wait for Garçon to get healthy and rediscover what he showed us week 1. Shallow formats, there is no reason to take a gamble, so keep him stashed away until he shows us something. RG3 is on a roll to begin his rookie season would be a gross understatement. He's been a fantasy top point producer for the first quarter of the 2012 season. He's got a matchup with the Atlanta Falcons that looks to be tough on paper, but Atlanta has become more successful facing statuesque quarterbacks than those of a more mobile variety. So I definitely say start him, and I think he's looking healthy. Did we read the injury report on him?
We did. He had a concussion, didn't he?
I think so, but I think he's playing. I would definitely pay attention to the injury reserve rosters, and I think it comes out today, the injury report. So definitely pay attention to that to see who to start.
Okay.
Against Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning, and San Diego Chargers, Phillip Rivers, like the Falcons, have allowed 414 passing yards and just 1 touchdown while picking off 5 passes. Matt Castle of the Kansas City Chiefs and Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton, combined to throw for 473 yards and 3 touchdowns on the Falcons. Castle turned the ball over 3 times in week 1. Cam didn't turn it over at all in 4 games. The 2 of them combined for 106 rushing yards and 2 ground scores on 13 carries. We all know now that RG3 has the rushing power to keep up with those kind of running performances.
Greg Jennings has a hurt groin. He's out.
Why
Javon Ringer.
I always laugh when
I
somebody
know
says
when
that. I
groin
can't help
makes
it.
me laugh. I can't help it.
But
here
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
We should totally make him some cookies.
Oh,
and
you
send them.
can
I will.
Yeah.
I'm an excellent baketress.
make pictures. You're gonna make little
Football
football
cookies. Yeah.
with
Laces
an
out.
N on them.
I totally
Nance.
should.
Yeah.
And put my little phone number on there for him.
Well, yeah, that doesn't
kidding.
surprise me.
Why do I always make those jokes? I think it's
because
fun.
they're not jokes.
It's probably annoying to some people. Maybe I should stop.
Well, maybe let's finish reading about the
can't
injuries.
help it.
Okay,
All right,
so
fine,
Javon
fine.
Ringer hurt his knee. He's out. Jake Locker, that left shoulder, he's still out. And
sad.
Lestar Jean.
That didn't
or is
stop
it
them from
Jean?
the game, though. Wow, that was an awesome game last
No,
night.
he's
Did you guys check it
probable.
out?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that, too, when Will gets on the show. How
The
amazing
recap
the
of
Titans
last
did.
night.
I'm so excited. Huge win for the Titans. It was awesome.
Okay, so Peyton Hillis, here it is, ankle. He's
Peyton?
out.
Peyton?
Oh, just kidding. I just have a tongue tied today.
Peyton Hillis is out. And that's a huge deal for Kansas City. So,
And so is Matt Castle being out with a concussion. This is saying he's out, but it didn't say it's like tricky. with
no.
RG.
That
He's
was
definitely
RG3.
out? Okay.
Matt Castle is definitely out.
Oh, man. Then Devon Wiley.
He's out.
Yep.
Danny Amendola, and I actually picked him up like when he started blowing up, and then he kind of got hurt.
Damn.
It's very sad.
Then Richard Gordon for Oakland. He's out.
Brian Hartline's probable, so pay attention to that.
Right. Daniel Thomas. He has what is it with concussion week?
I don't know, but Reggie Bush is probable too. But I always get, like, whenever I see one of my players on my roster probable, they always blow up every single time. So I always start the probable people.
That's a good trick.
Yeah.
How do you
well,
say his last name? I never do it right. I never say it right.
You've said that name before?
Yes.
Michael
Humawanu has a concussion. So don't play him.
And Wes Welker.
He's tied in for New
Out.
England.
Remember when I was struggling picking him over Hakeem Nicks? They're both out in my draft.
Dang.
Remember in the
Andre
draft
Brown
when I was
is out. What? I don't. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't have a good memory.
Dustin Keller,
This is
tight end for the Jets, probable, but the Jets are all banged up anyway.
Andre Brown, he has a concussion. He's out.
Jeremy Curley.
No, these are all questionable.
John Skelton.
Might be all. That's all. That's all that's out. Everybody else is questionable and probable.
Robert Griffin Jr. is questionable. Keep your eyes on him, but I think he's going to play. How about that game last night?
I know. It was incredible. Rob Baronis kicking the field goal.
Rob Baronis kicking the winning field goal for the Titans.
We actually have a
over
little
Steelers.
clip of it on YouTube.
Let's play it for everybody.
Yeah.
Look at Ben's face. Brilliant.
Damn.
Yay!
We knew we loved the Titans.
23.
They were so happy.
26. Win over the Steelers last night. Home game. It was awesome. I was there cheering them on. So
It was
excited.
that last 5 minutes was intense. I can't wait till Will gets here and
I
has
know.
the insider
And
view.
I saw a lot of people leaving too, and
They gave up.
heard about it.
They didn't believe. I was
But you
watching
know
it
what?
from 3 Crow with my beer and it was
I was in
cheering.
the thick of the action, and it was awesome. It was amazing. Great game.
Wish I would've
So
went.
proud of the boys.
Dang it. I didn't have tickets though.
Well.
So on bye weeks this week, let's see, we have the Panthers, Bears, Jaguars, and Saints.
That's right. We sure do. I am excited about this Miami game.
I bet you are.
I am excited. I
you
think that
think
they're
they're
going
gonna
to
beat the
crush
Rams?
the Rams. I really do. I think Reggie Bush is going to play. He's going to blow up. I think Brian Hartline is going to blow up too. That's why I started him, even though he's questionable. Started him. He's going to blow up.
Okay, so it was good for me and you that we didn't have Kenny Britt on
Very true.
the starting team, but bad for Talkapolis Titans that we had him benched. So for this
Did
next
Talkapolis
week,
Titans win?
I
We know
think
our real Titans won. Did our Talkapolis Titans win last week?
I think they did. I think they played me and they slaughtered me. So
Well, good
you
for
know,
us.
Hey,
Well, actually, we don't know yet because we have Sunday's games. So
Right. so it,
As of right now, they have 88 points.
right.
Matt
so,
Hasselbeck scored 42 fantasy points.
Yeah, I did. And we're taking Kenny Brett off and
Yes.
replacing him with Damian Williams.
Let's do it.
Okay. And we will be right back with Will Witherspoon after a word from our sponsors. Keep watching.
Today's episode is brought to you by Signorama. They're local and have provided our studios with great looking signage extremely quickly, and we can't recommend them enough for banners and beyond. Make sure you check them out at signorama.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Football Fantasy. I have my dear friend, the wonderful Will Witherspoon, on the show today. Welcome.
Thanks.
Linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. Great game last night.
Oh, definitely a great game. Definitely a great game.
Well-needed win.
Definitely. A well-needed win, and I think a win that happened the way we needed it to. You know, you got to see production from all sides. You got to see, you know, plays made when they needed to happen. That's what it was all about.
What were the big key plays in last night's game?
Well, I think, you know, really, Tim's punt block. I mean, T-Shaw blocking that punt at that point in time.
Yeah.
You know, we recovered the ball in the one. That really kind of set things in tone. It showed that here's where we are. We're coming out the box, and you know what? It doesn't matter. But the other key plays, I think, really come into play later in the game. You know, the defense getting that stop when we needed it, you know, in the fourth quarter, giving the offense the opportunity to get the ball and not take the game to overtime. Let's go ahead and win it.
Absolutely. And then Rob Barones' kick.
Rob.
Huge.
Finishing out. You know, it's funny. I was talking to Rob right before the game, and he's like, my brother sends me the same text every week for 8 years.
Say?
Well, basically it says, kick the ball. Kick balls. Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to use that. I love Tim. We have to have Tim on the show. Can I tell everybody about our pumpkin carving party that we had?
A little bit about the pumpkin carving party.
Just the carving pumpkin part of it. We had a pumpkin carving party last year at my house. And me and Will and Tim and our girlfriend Jennifer Wayne, who was supposed to be on the show the other day and was stuck in the studio. Yeah, we'll get her. But we'll get her, that's for sure. But we carved pumpkins, and of course mine was the greatest.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, really?
I have a witness. My pumpkin was the greatest.
Oh, did you see the pumpkin?
I sent I sent you the pictures of the pumpkin last year. You
was
forgot about that? Oh, sold out at the end. Sold out in the end. You're always supposed to side with Dad.
The jury's still out on whose was the best. But mine was a drunk pumpkin, and it was throwing up. I don't know if I can really talk about that. But anyways, throwing up. And the squirrels were eating the pumpkin seeds, and they dragged them out like to around, you know, my house. And probably about May, sometime this year, I started growing a pumpkin patch from the pumpkin seeds from last. Can you guys believe that? That actually happened. We actually grew pumpkins. I'll bring a picture of it in. It's kind of funny. And Rachel and I baked a pumpkin pie. Rachel, who we had on the show last week. But anyway, so let's get back to you and Spoon, as your friends call you.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's a name that everybody can call me. Promise. My second grade teacher even calls me that, so it works out perfectly.
Did the kids call you that, or did they just call you Dad?
Well, I'm just Dad to them. Isn't that right?
And you went to
Solid.
And you're from Texas, and you went to Georgia. You were a Bulldog.
Okay, let's get this right.
Okay.
Technically, born in Texas.
Born in Texas.
I consider myself a Floridian. That's where I spent the most time. I'm a military kid, so
Okay.
you know, everywhere else I've been, it is what it is. I've been all over the place because of my dad, and you know, of course, went to school in Georgia.
Yeah, Bulldogs. Well, okay, you were voted by your Tennessee Titans teammates for the Ed Block Award, which is, it stands for leadership, courage, inspiration, and sportsmanship. It's kind of a big deal. You're kind of a liked guy on the team, I guess.
And you know, that's one of the best honors that's actually available at every team. There's a member of an Ed Block Courage Award winner every year for every team, and it's voted by your peers, so that just makes it that much more of, you know, that much greater. You know, that's just what the award's about. And then, you know, when you really, a lot of times it's because you face some kind of adversity, you've had something happen, and you know, whether it's recovering from injury or you know, in my case it was, you know, the fact that my mom passed like right before the season, and I still ended up playing that first game. And you know, the guys looked at that and were like, I don't know how you did it, I don't know how you could figure it out going into that, but to be voted that way, you know, to know that your teammates are thinking you that way, that's also just a big honor.
That is awesome. Well, I know what a great guy you are, and every time I see him out at any charity event or anything, he's so sweet to me, to everyone. I interviewed you on the red carpet for the Footloose premiere. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
That was a great interview, and I'm so sad because they never gave me any of the footage, and I was devastated, to say the least.
I wanted to see the footage.
That was a great interview. It was so fun.
She was trying to get me to sing on camera, by the way. that was the key moment there. We actually were dancing down the red carpet at that point in time, and it was just a little hilarious.
Can we like reenact
yes.
it?
No.
Right now.
It's a little too early in the day. The voice is probably not on point for that.
Okay.
I'm just not going to set a bad example.
Okay. Well, not only are you an amazing athlete, but you're smart too. You speak German and you're learning Arabic and Swedish. Why those languages?
Okay, so being a military brat, the German part came a little bit easier. We did several tours of Germany with my dad, of course, and the Arabic and Swedish part. I've learned a little bit of each of those because I have friends in those countries. Like it's really, again, nice. It's the military kid lifestyle. You find friends, from different places, and you get to learn a little bit about them and what they're about and who they are, and that just becomes kind of a great part about it. And then, of course, someday I'm going to have to teach little Maya here a little bit of that. And my other two who decided that they wanted to be off camera.
I know, she keeps going like this.
Are giving us the funny face.
I love it because it's totally working. It's totally making me laugh. It's adorable. Okay, so our show is about the Titans and fantasy football. And I know some of the players have started to play fantasy football and have their own teams. Are you one of them? Do you play?
No, I don't.
Do you like it? Do you not like it? How do you feel about it?
You know, I just feel like sometimes it's for me, it's just one less thing that I need not to do. Like I'm really busy with so many other things in my life and so many other things that are ventures for me that I look at it, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is do more work related to work that's not really work.
That's true. That makes sense. Well, I am obsessed with it, and
Many are. We've got to watch her. She's handicapping now.
Yeah. I am. I'm pulling in my inside tracks. 2009, you did a USO tour in Iraq.
Yeah, and that was great. That was a great tour, and it was great to get an understanding of kind of what the situation was at the time in Iraq. You know, that was initially the start of us trying to pull out of the country, trying to figure out what we were doing, and to go. It was myself, Jared Allen, Danny Clark, and Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So it was a great group of guys to be with too, and to go hopping all through, you know, different bases all over there, and just to see what it was like, you know, the day-to-day operations. I mean, the one thing that still I cannot get over is you can't even see from me to the other side of this table outside a window, and these troops are out jogging like it's time for PT, so we got to go run.
Wow.
And then they come in and blow their nose, and it looks like they just blew out half the desert.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, I know that they appreciate you guys going over there. That was a big deal.
It was great, and you know, again, I got to figure out when I'm gonna try and do another USO tour, and they have the NFL has a great relationship with USO, and they do tours all over the world, you know, to see these military guys and bring them a little bit of home. I
would love for you to go back. That would be awesome. Can we cut it real quick? Because then I'm gonna go into the. Okay. Or should we do the? We don't. Our viewers wanted to ask some. We can talk about the viewers too. Silly questions. We can do our viewer segment next. Don't you worry. The viewers are on point. We definitely got to get those. Okay. Should we ask these questions? Are you ready to do the viewer section? And then we'll go to the little teleprompter situation. Okay. What'd you say about the Iran contraband? Yeah, we're good. What do we have to do? Just tell us when you want to start again. It's running. Oh, it is? Yeah. Can everybody tell me again how pretty I am? From the point where you said. Nobody? Anybody? Okay. I do it every time. I make them tell me how pretty I am for 5 minutes before we start. Just kidding. You know, we should tell her. Hey, Lane, are you pretty? Too? Are you pretty? You're not? Why? Yes, you are. You know you are. Look at the smile. You're not fooling me. Are you pretty? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Are you pretty, Shay Shay? I thought so. That's right. So, yes, quite quick. So a couple of our viewers have some questions they tweeted in that I want to ask you. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, are we starting? Yeah, we can say it as soon as you get your voice up. Okay. How about that? Okay. I just need
This
somebody
is
else
not
tell me I'm
pillow
pretty
talk.
again.
This is like, we need to talk.
Okay. Okay. A couple of our viewers tweeted in some questions for Will. What do you think of the Young Guns linebackers, Akeem? Okay,
Ayers.
we need to, yeah.
Yeah, Akeem Ayers and
Yeah,
ZB.
Akeem Ayers.
You know, Akeem has grown a lot in the last year. You know, just to see where he's come, just the leaps and bounds he's made. You know, on the field, off the field, how he approaches a game. You know, that's the kind of growth you want to see in a rookie anyway, or a guy coming from his rookie year into his second year. Zach is still learning. He's still taking it in.
Zach,
You know, Zach is going to make mistakes. He's gonna have things happen, and what you got to do is make sure he doesn't get frustrated or just upset with how the situation's going. He's got to take a moment and say, all right, this is good, that's bad, this is good, that's bad. But, you know, as long as I keep adding up more of the goods than I do the bads, I'll be better off.
Oh, that was a really, really good answer. I'm sure way more than our viewers, you know. Wow, I've just completely lost my train of thought. What would you do if you weren't playing professional football? This is what I want to know, too. I'm very curious.
I am into a lot of different things, but I'm kind of a handyman around the house myself. I kind of like to do things myself and get into things. Okay. A little known fact that very few people can tell you is I probably have pretty much a full studio and like photography studio set up in my house.
You do? That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I'm changing over my cameras now. I just got rid of my Canon Mark II. I'm getting the new Mark III. I'm getting the new 60DS.
Nice.
It's crazy. I just do stuff like that. You know, that's what my hobbies dabbling into are. But I also, a lot of people don't know, or if they haven't heard already, on a grass-fed beef farm that
yes, we did.
is fantastic. It's offered me a lot of opportunities to get into really understand where food comes from, how we can produce it. And really trying to show people along the way that there's ways to produce food in mass amounts that we need to, that can be done without pesticides, chemicals, and harsh abrasives, you know, that are put into it and into the food production system all around.
That's so true and so important, and I would like to ask you about that. What got you into that, and why are you so passionate about the organic meat and all of that?
I started with 2 horses. It's what's hilarious about this. I bought the first piece of my farm when I was looking for a place for my 2 horses, because I was looking at how much it was costing me to board those 2 alone, relative to owning a piece of property and having somebody to live on it, and you know, who would take care of my horses day to day. So when I looked at those numbers, I said, look, I'm gonna go find a piece of property.
Yeah.
So I bought my first 185 acres. And I decided, you know, my tax guy was like, well, get a couple of animals all there, and you know, it's just to be a better taxable situation. You know, you learn that little question real quick, right? So I was like, I'm gonna be a hobby farmer. I went out to buy 2 or 3 head of cattle, came home with 15. So then I decided I'm gonna have my own beef.
Wow.
And I really started looking into how I could produce it and what I would do, and found a group, Animal Welfare Approved, or AWA as it's known in short, that helps farmers and really focuses on family farms. You know, that's another huge problem is that in the last, even if you go the last 40 years, 70% of the farms owned today that were owned then are now commercial farms that aren't owned by individual families. You know, a lot of times you see these family farms, but they really fall under a corporate structure.
And they're all pumping steroids into the animals and everything?
A lot of them are, and many of them are fall into the standards of whatever, you know, these companies want produced. And the way it's set up too, it's structured in a way that you can't get out of it. I know a farmer. If you haven't seen the movie Food Inc., the woman
heard of it.
Yeah, the woman who's a chicken farmer in that actually left Tyson and started producing animals on her own, and she actually joined the AWA. It's a great story.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a great story, and she really talks about in there like how Tyson made it and structured it in such a way that for her to get out, I mean, she basically had to walk away from her life and took a huge risk doing it because she saw the benefit of it on the other side.
Wow. Well, which brings me to an event that you are hosting on Monday night. It's for the Second Harvest Food Bank of Tennessee. It's to benefit them. It's called Farm to Table, and it will be held at the Standard on Monday night. Call Brittany 615-329-3491 to purchase tickets. I got mine this morning, and I know there's only a few left. So
yeah, it will be a great event too, and it's. I also wanted to do some, a lot of guys start foundations and do things,
Yeah.
The course. I've been in the league 11 years, and it took me this amount of time to really get to a point where I knew exactly what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and this is the start. This is exactly where I wanted to begin. This is how I said, all right, I want to do something small that'll just give me the basis drive for what I wanted to become in the future.
Well, I'm so glad you did that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, because it's really, really scary nowadays what's going into our food, and so.
If only you knew.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
No
I have
problem.
had a blast with you, and it was so fun to meet you, and you too. So everybody, tune in next week, and we'll see you then. Thanks.